Baseball Discourse. I have a guest with me today,
Maggie Jones.
Maggie Jones. And then also her owner or whatever.
And Connor.
Yes, Connor. Who are you to me?
I am your son, the firstborn.
Okay, let's get side by side, see if we look alike.
Can you tell the difference?
Okay.
One of us has a beard. That's the only difference.
That's literally it. My hair is a little bit longer, but he did have long hair at one time, so
Yep.
This is your short hair version. Okay, so we are not in the studio today. We're actually on location. I'm gonna make up a bunch of stupid stuff like that.
Excuse me while I pick the eye boogers.
Okay, yes, you know, it's a right now problem, so it's gotta happen right now. We did bring the disco ball. This is the one from my room. It's sitting on a really cool Shrek McDonald's cup.
And it's next to Wolverine.
And next to Wolverine. I know there's a lot going on back here that we will discuss at one point, but this is my first child, my oldest child. And so we've had the other podcast with the girls. We kind of did it backwards too, because we did Cam and then Kelly, and then it's going to be you. So I do have similar questions to ask that I asked the girls. So we're going to start with that, and then we'll get into a little bit more so you can get to know Connor. First of all, what is your full name? You don't have to say your last name if you don't want to.
Connor Marcus Williams, named after Mark Rabbit.
Yes.
And the doctor from Seinfeld.
No.
It's an old people show.
Actually, you know what? I didn't even think of that, but we have to talk about the history of your name. Connor was born in 2000, and I really wanted to name him Carson after Carson Daly from TRL because that was all going on at the time. I got voted out on that one, but then I also wanted to name him Carter after my favorite TV doctor on ER, Dr. Carter, and they called him Carter. And so I brought that to the table too, and me and his dad were like, no, let's get something in between. And so we looked at a baby book in a Hastings, sitting at a table, opening the book, looking to find it. And so the in-between we found was Connor. So that's how he got his name. And then on the middle name, I was talking to his dad about it. And I said, you know, something that's meaningful, you know, I didn't know if we wanted to use his dad's name, which is your dad and your grandpa and your cousin and everybody's name. But we decided instead, his dad has a really, really good, very best friend named Mark. And we thought, not Mark. Marcus. So he's Connor Marcus. And
unlike Cameron, I like my name.
Okay, right.
I'm not crying about it. I like it.
He watched her podcast and he's like, okay, I've got something. See, that's why it's good to watch the other ones and then have the same questions so that you can see how to answer and then talk about theirs. Okay, that was too long. Okay, how old are you?
I am 20.
Nope.
3.
Nope.
4.
Yep.
I'm 24.
He's 24, but he's still... Actually, how many months are you?
24 months. 375 months.
Okay, is that really what it is?
No, I
was like, yeah, that was quick math. Okay, what is your family rank?
Number 1. Everybody,
that's what the girls said.
Everyone says number 1. No,
You literally
I
are
am
though.
number 1. I am the firstborn. I am the beginning, the alpha, and the omega.
Yes. Connor is the first child, and I knew when I was pregnant that I was going to have a boy. I just knew it. I could feel it. So whenever I found out, I was like, I'm not surprised. But then I thought I was going to have a boy 2 more times.
Yeah.
So maybe I just guessed bad, and I thought I was going to have boys. So.
Well, that was like that. I was so sure as soon as we got our first ultrasound that I'm married. My wife is pregnant. And we're having a girl, and I knew it was a girl from the first ultrasound. And Liz says that she does too, but she's lying because...
She was probably like, I don't know, I don't want to guess,
like,
and get let down.
I don't know, she's like, it's a girl. No, it's a boy, no, it's a girl. And I was like, we found out it was a girl. She's like, I knew it the whole time.
Okay,
like, oh,
okay, sure. She would have said it the other way around too, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's funny. So then if you have more kids in the future, then you're going to get to guess, and then you're going to see. Because if you're right again, then maybe you have a feeling.
I'll probably be wrong. Like, you were wrong the rest of the
Which
time.
is funny. There's only a 50-50 chance that you can still be way wrong. So, anyway. Okay, what is your favorite color?
Favorite color is green. You can't really, I don't know if you can see it, but I have a lot of Green Lantern stuff over here. So, has been green, always will be green.
And of all the lanterns... Green
Lantern.
Oh, Green Lantern. Okay, because I know there's the other ones. Because I know a lot of stuff, and I'm a nerdy person, and I brought that to the table in life. But Connor is like, we have so many similar things that we like, and he has interest in nerdy things too. And so if I know anything about stuff like that, it's because Connor taught me.
I was going to say that's a pro-mom question, because I was like, you're like, actually not just the Green Lanterns, there's more lanterns?
Yeah, see, I knew I was kind of trying to brag a little bit. Okay, what is your favorite food?
if you can't tell by the beast, it's hot dogs. Oh. It's hot dogs. It'll always be hot dogs. My wife Liz is an amazing chef, amazing cook. Can just be like, oh, I just threw some things together and it's the best meal you've ever had in your whole life.
Like very elaborate.
Okay, but actually, I say hot dogs as a joke, but it's two foods. I'm gonna explain why. It's burgers and burritos, and there's very specific reason why. Is because I think that burgers and burritos are the most efficient food delivery system. And here's why. If you have let's say you get a bowl from Chipotle, you gotta make sure that each bite you're getting a good scoop of everything, and by the end of it you may just have all the stuff you don't want.
Like rice.
With the burrito, by the time you eat down to the bottom, all the sauce, everything is at the bottom. So your last bite is the best bite. Same with the burger. If you eat a burger, this is controversial, and that's the big, I'm just going to say.
Are you bring up the tomato?
No, I eat a burger from the outside and leave the middle. I eat around the center. But here's why. Let's say you have a burger with onions, pickles, cheese, tomato if you like tomato.
Okay.
You can get to your last bite and guess what? I have no pickle. I have no tomato. I have no cheese.
Ah.
If you eat around the middle, you'll always have a full-size pickle right in the middle because you'll never have all of it gone on the
And
outside.
it kind of scoots to the middle, and it's a pickle, so you're gonna have one right in the middle.
The last bite of your food makes a great meal can have a bad last bite and it'll be a bad meal. So,
you know what's funny about this? I thought I was gonna be like, what's your favorite color? Blue. What's your favorite food? Pizza. Like, I just thought he was gonna like just bark out this answer, and here you go. I was like, okay, wait, let me just talk about
I thought
this.
long and hard about it, and Liz supports me. She doesn't agree. Those aren't her favorite foods, but I stand by that fully, that a great meal is only as good as its last bite. Because a bad last bite, well, think about it. If you eat something and you're like, oh, it's so good, and the last bite is something
Just
sour.
dry or crusty or something at the end.
You're like, I don't even like that. You gotta eat something else.
You know what? Okay, and also, any of those things you just said, how long would it take you to eat it?
Like, not a long time. Let's say
0.256 seconds.
1 millisecond.
Connor's father-in-law loves to watch Connor eat. Number one, because he enjoys food, and he enjoys the food that he makes, but also because he's like, I just love to see him eat it that fast. Like, nobody eats as fast as Connor, and I'm like, I don't know.
That's straight from my dad.
Yeah, that's true.
Him and I both eat like crazy, but I still beat him every single time.
Yeah, so talent. If you guys don't know, or if you see Connor in a restaurant, don't say hi. Just watch him in 0.25 seconds eat all his food.
In fact, don't talk to me because I'm not going to say anything back. Like I don't have the mouth to say something.
Yeah, no. So he's very efficient on eating his food too. And you're right. His wife really, really is a good cook. She can make you a tuna sandwich like.
And let me say, those are my favorite foods, but I stand by the fact that like. I have so many favorite foods because of Liz, because she makes so many things so good.
She does. She just has that talent.
Yeah, and we don't.
Yeah, no. I'm just like efficiency. Well, that's probably like back to the hot dog thing.
Yeah.
The funny thing about you saying that is he really did always love hot dogs growing up. And the funnier thing is when Cameron, his littlest sister, was really little, she was learning how to talk. It's hard to say names. And saying Connor when you're a little baby toddler is really hard. Mm-hmm. So she used to come around and she was talking to him and she would call him Dot Dog. And we were like, what is she saying? Dot Dog, Dot Dog. She was calling him Hot Dog. So if that doesn't say that's your favorite food, I don't know what.
And that was my name. It still is my name.
That is my name in my phone. That's your name in my phone.
I'll forever be Hot Dog.
To this day, I'll be texting in front of somebody else and I'm texting Hot Dog. And I'm like, oh, it's my son. It's a long story. But, okay. Let's move over to your favorite family member.
My favorite family member,
Is Maggie.
is Maggie? No, she gets on my nerves.
And you can say whatever you want.
I feel like everybody else said grandma, and I have
Yes.
to say grandma. But I'm going to change it, and
Okay.
I'm going to say... I don't actually know. I don't know why I didn't think about this.
I like the raw reaction, though. I want to see because, I mean, we love our family. We're all really close. Aunts, uncles, nephews, nieces, everybody. We're really close.
Okay,
so.
this may be an irritating answer, but I'm actually going to say that it is my father-in-law, Jeff.
Okay, that's okay.
I love Jeff, and he's such a great father, and he's such a great father-in-law, and he loves my wife. just as much, if not more, than I love her. And that's just a real sincere answer. Also, he's your best friend.
I was going to say, my best friend Jeff I talk to every single day. From I had the best day to I got a hangnail, like either one of those things we're going to talk about.
Anything, yeah.
So, no, that's a great answer.
Yeah.
Aww.
That's my for real answer.
I know you had a really good time with him the last time you guys went to visit. And like you said, you love your wife as much as you do, but to walk in and see her father and the way he loves her. And the way like you said he got after her like the teeniest bit and then he's like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. No, to be on a serious note, just a really good example of what that kind of family-oriented, like, just loving family member looks like to me. And especially as a husband and soon to be a father, I think that it's very easy to... There's a lot of people that don't... That's not naturally a part of them to want that, to be all in and serious. And he is always such a good example. And especially of how...
And it's so genuine. It's not like, oh, I have to do these things or they're here and I have to be this kind of anything. He's so genuinely happy. He sent me a million pictures of you guys when you guys were gone. And it made me happy too because I was like, they're in his kitchen. They're on his couch. And you guys were just so happy.
Passed out. Pictures of me asleep like this. At 9 p.m.
Right? And you slept till what, 9 a.m.? You guys slept a lot.
12 hours.
It's all right. Adulting's hard. You gotta sleep when you can. Okay, well, I agree with that. Okay, now we're to the roast section of things. So, sister one, Kelly, roast.
Kelly, short, stinky, greasy, the hardcore greasy. Has fungus, and also these basically apply to both of them. Like, can I do a joint roast?
You sure? Just as long as you cover both and point out the differences.
Short, greasy, smelly, stank.
These are good brother answers right here.
Stank, foot, toe fungus. And both have had lice so many times.
Yeah, true.
Like 100 times.
That's true, man. Middle school and elementary school was a tough one. That was... Man, all the time.
And the difference, so I can roast them individually. Cameron has curly hair and Kelly has straight hair.
Yep. Remember what you said? One's like just a giant poof and the other one's just like a tiny little strand.
If you put their ponytails side by side, one is like a horse tail and one is like a rat tail.
Yeah, exactly. Horse tail and rat tail. There you go.
Yeah.
That sums up your sisters in one roast. And then when you say it, we know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah, you know exactly. Also, it basically applies to both.
Okay, yeah, true. Okay, sorry girls, but y'all got your roasts in, so there you go. Okay, what is your favorite childhood memory?
I knew these questions too. We didn't go over the questions before, but I knew because I saw the other episodes and I totally didn't know them.
And I'm just sorry to interrupt, but I'm so worried that my camera's going to run out. We're going to talk for 45 minutes and we're going to miss it, so I'm just going to jump up and check.
Go check. Let me think on the question.
Yes, think on your question. Yep, we are still recording. I don't even mind that that's in there because I'd rather do that instead of having to jump back like I've had to. So if I get up some more times, like I'm just going to do that. This isn't a professional thing.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
And this turned off.
Oh, no, yeah, our background. There we go.
The family and the dishwasher.
And the dishwasher, yes.
I'm trying to think of what my favorite childhood memory is.
Just something that you can think it really stood out. It was a lot of fun. Just one of the happiest times. Okay,
one time when I was a kid, I think. Oh, hold on, I'm between two now.
Okay.
This show that I'm 24. I'm getting so old.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're so old. 24.
One time when I was a kid, I was feeling really sick, and I was like, "Oh man, I don't feel too good," and so I went to the bathroom and started throwing up. And as I was puking, I was like, "I'm throwing up in here if anybody cares." Because nobody came to help me. I was all retching my guts out. Okay, in our defense, we used to live in a split level house, so it had like 1, 2, 3, 4 levels, and whichever one you were on. Well, the kitchen was on a totally different level than the bathroom that he was at. The master bedroom and the bathroom and the bedroom were all on exactly the same level. Yes, they were. We were in the kitchen like making dinner or doing stuff like that. Yes, we were. We were on a whole different level. No, and I remember, and all of a sudden we're like, Connor's yelling, and he's like, I'm just throwing up here if anybody cares. It was night, and it was right next to everybody's bedroom, and nobody cared. No, whatever. I was also close to the age where I just didn't need help puking anymore.
I mean, he was like 9 or 10. And you know what I just remembered? This popped in my head. Remember you had an inflatable Star Wars bed?
Yep.
It was the, was Speeder?
It was either a speeder or it was some sort of spaceship. I think it might have been the Jedi Starfighter.
Okay, but it was definitely Star Wars. And it was inflatable and it sat down on the floor and you would put your mattress in it.
Yeah. I only have one memory of that bed, and it was, for some reason, we had inflated it at Grandma's house.
Huh. That probably sounds like that was Grandpa's idea.
That's the only time I remember
Grandpa's
that.
idea. But
Because Mom, the thing about my childhood memories is that Mom won't tell you this, but she likes to just say that, and then we moved and then everything magically disappeared. I remember things. I think I have more childhood memories of like feelings. Like I remember what things feel like.
Okay, because I wasn't even going to bring up what you're about to say, but it's important. Go ahead.
When I was a baby, like I was like 2 or 3 years old, Mom had gotten me, it was my birthday, and I had gotten this stuffed dog, and it looked just like Maggie.
You were 3. It was your
3,
3rd birthday.
And this dog, it was like a brown dog, and so I named it Chocolate Milk. And I just remember as a kid, I loved this dog, and I always loved, obviously, I loved all of my childhood toys, so I would just like they had names, and I would like make them talk to each other and stuff. And then as the years went on, I was like, I wonder where that stuff ended up. I assumed it went into storage or something. Turns out all of it was gone, and why it was gone is because Mom would we moved a lot. Like every year we were moving to a new house. So every year Mom just decided she would take probably a trash bag full of my stuff and just throw it away without me knowing. And it worked. I never found out, but I gained consciousness when I was like, you threw all that stuff away. And so Chocolate Milk was my first pet, my dog, that Mom threw in the garbage and I never saw.
You know what? I literally don't remember what happened to it. I don't remember being like, ha ha, not today, Chocolate Milk, and rip his head off and kicked him to the trash can. I mean, I
think
didn't do that.
It was malicious.
No, I don't even remember. But listen, don't throw your kids' stuff away, especially if it means something to them, because I don't even remember. And he brings this up every time we talk. Every time we see each other. You knew that I liked this stuff. I just don't understand why you threw it away. I kept other stuff. You know what? I don't know what happened. I was losing my mind.
You kept the stuff that you liked, but the stuff that I liked, threw in the trash.
Yeah, I have for that birthday, it was Monsters Inc. because it had just come out, and he got Monsters Inc. on a blue VHS. I think you got that one for your second birthday, but we still have that. Yeah, we still have that.
And you know what? I also realized with my adult mind too, getting ready to have a baby, you realize sometimes your space may be more valuable than your stuff.
And that's probably literally what it was. It was about to find out.
I just was like, especially now, going through clothes and stuff, I'm like, just throw it away. I don't know how to hold on.
Don't even put it in the trunk. Try to take it to the Goodwill. None of that stuff.
But there is, we'll go over more of this stuff in a bit, but I needed to show you.
Okay.
I do have one thing. This is a McDonald's Shrek toy.
When McDonald's had good toys, geez.
This is a McDonald's Shrek toy. This is one that I had as a kid.
Really? Okay, that one's still. Oh.
It's on this cup, but I held on to this for
that
long.
Do you see that McDonald's toy? Now it's like a piece of paper with some wheels on it, and then you just throw it away.
This used to talk and like move.
That's right now. If you were to buy that in the store right now, how much would that be?
So I'm an action figure collector, obviously, and it would be $35.
Yeah, I was going to say $25, $35, and that was a McDonald's toy. Like, that was awesome. McDonald's over the years has had tons of good toys. It's just really hit or miss, or I haven't had little kids in a long time, but I'll get a Happy Meal, and sometimes they're just I do like the little props.
One day you'll have Liz on the podcast, and she'll tell you all about McDonald's.
And we'll tell you when we're going to have Liz on the podcast. We already discussed it.
When?
In the delivery room.
Yeah, we're going to have Liz on the podcast during the birth.
Yes.
So it's going to be this angle, except for Liz will be right here.
Yeah, and it's going to be great.
And it's going to be not gross.
No, you know what's funny?
Or disturbing.
She is so nice. If I really asked her to do that, she would probably say yes. But maybe labor and delivery might make her say, you know what? This is the time. Putting my foot down.
No, Liz
podcast.
may turn, and she's like, you turn the camera off. I'm going to smack you in the face.
All right. Okay, so let me not test the waters with that. Okay, one more childhood thing that I have to talk about. Don't cheat. Did you see it?
I just glanced.
Okay, well, don't look at it. That we have to talk about happened to be at one of the same houses that we were just talking about, the split level house. But tell us why you ran away.
That was going to be my childhood memory. So, for whatever reason, whatever you got.
Yeah, what is the reason?
The reason, I was just over it. I was done. Mom was being mom, and she was trying to tell me what to do. So I decided that, you know what, life in the house was too much, so it's time for me to go do my own thing.
He was 9 or 10 again.
I was 9 or 10,
yeah.
and what I did, I was like, okay, well, I gotta be slick about it. So I packed my stuff up, and I told Kelly, I was like, hey, look, you can have my room, you can have whatever I'm leaving behind, but don't tell Mom. You're gonna be in huge trouble if you tell Mom, because I don't want her to figure it out. And I decided, I remember this so vividly, so I packed up my bag, I got some change, I got a little jug of water and like a jar of pickles, because I didn't want to starve to death. And so I went outside, and we had a hole in our fence that led to the United like loading area.
Right, it wasn't our fence. Our fence was complete, but there was a hole in the fence between that and the stores behind us.
And I would go there as a kid anyways, just to goof around. But I went out there and I went and explored, and my legitimate goal was that I was going to be homeless until I was like 20 years old. And
that's how me.
As a kid, you're always like have that moment. You're like, I don't want to be homeless. But I literally imagined myself. I'm like, I'm gonna be, because I was wearing like a baggy like Longhorns hoodie.
Yeah.
And I imagine I was like, one day Mom is gonna be driving down the street, and she's gonna. I assumed I would still live in Plainview, so she's gonna see me on the street
and
with
he's
this
gonna
hoodie
just
on,
be like,
and I'm gonna be like 18 years old, and even as a kid, I was like, I commit to that. Like, it's gonna be sad, but you know what? That's gonna be life.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I made the decision. I gotta stick to it. And the reason why he got away with it, and then why he was found out, was because their dad was traveling for work, and he was stuck in an airport somewhere, and he needed to book another flight. So he called me. I'm on the phone. It's a tense situation. I'm on a laptop. I'm on the phone trying to book this flight and see what we can do so we can get him home. And Kelly comes in this room. This house is huge. She comes in this room, and then she kind of just sits by me on the couch, kind of down here, and she's just like, she's just crying and sniffling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Kelly, just calm down. And she just wouldn't stop crying. I was like, all right, let me get back to this. So I'm like, Kelly, what? And she's like, I'm not supposed to tell you, but Connor ran away and he's never coming back. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He snuck out the back door. He left. I had to call my family in as reinforcements to come. We were driving all over town looking for him and questioning people. And you went to the Dollar Tree and you took your money and you bought, because we remember like asking you all these questions. You bought like Tylenol or ibuprofen. You bought something or Band-Aid.
Because I was smart. I was like, look, being professionally homeless is gonna take a good food supply, and B, like if I get sick or I have pain, or because I'm probably gonna get an infection or something, like
from homelessness.
I'm gonna need to have something. But it was cool because afterwards, Grandma and Grandpa were the ones that found me, and they took me to the Dollar Tree and they let me buy a toy, and then I came home.
Yeah, I think you went and got food too or something.
I also bought. Do you remember what I got from the Dollar Tree? It's kind of like, it's kind of psycho that I came home with this. It was one of those. It was near Halloween. It was one of those knives that has blood in it. And so I came home after running away with a bag full of food and a bloody knife. I don't know why you guys didn't just leave me out there.
You know what? We were just like, we're so glad you're okay, because you tried to cross, or you did cross that giant street, 5th Street.
I didn't cross.
Okay, and we were just like, this kid, oh my gosh, we didn't care. And my mom, I remember, came home and she was like, and don't you get mad at him. And I was like, I'm not.
All of
so
my
sad.
favorite childhood memories are ways that I did break rules that I didn't tell you guys until later.
Yeah, which is what you're supposed to do. I get it. I was a kid before too, and you're not supposed to tell on yourself till later.
Yeah.
Because it's too late. I mean.
You know what? I'll add this real quick. Another fun childhood memory. It was the year that, I don't remember when, but when Disney Infinity came out for the first time. First Disney Infinity. And I was so excited, and I was like, I had saved up money from like my birthday. And I was like,
I remember when you
I was
were
going to
into
go
that.
buy it. And so I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my bike. I was at Grandma's house, and I was going to be like, okay, I'm going to ride my bike. It's at Walmart, or at GameStop. So if I go to GameStop, I have enough money, I can go get the starter pack, and I can come back. Well, I didn't realize that in order to get there, time-wise, from Grandma's house to there, I had to cross 2 highways on a bike.
Highway, like the interstate. I-27.
And not only that, I had a backpack on and a bike, and so I just had to run with the bike in my hands. And there were the 2, I don't know what those are, but they're like dips in the field. So I had to go uphill and then cross the highway, down, uphill again, cross the highway again.
Dumb boy
but
ideas.
I did all of it, and I was smart because I did all of it. I paid for my stuff at GameStop. Turned around, did the same thing back. I didn't tell you guys until
Okay, so
later.
if this does not describe risked his life for GameStop what is it, Disney Infinity?
Yeah, Disney.
For Disney Infinity. If this doesn't just describe it, I don't know what does.
It's totally worth it.
And I always told you when you were younger, and I'm a little disappointed in you because we always called it Nerd Stop.
Yeah.
And I said you were going to grow up to be a manager of Nerd Stop, and you're not even doing that.
Well, it's also going to go out of business, and also I don't have a physical deformity, so I can't be a manager at GameStop.
Do you brush your teeth too much? No.
Yeah.
Do you wash your hair too much? Also no.
It's it. Let's just say GameStop is, and I know this because I used to work at the mall and love it. It's a company that I don't want to work for.
Okay.
So I outgrew that dream.
Why does that store always smell? Is it the
Because-
employees
it's
and their
the
lack
people
of
that work there,
deodorant?
yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. Do you qualify?
No.
Do you
Not
wear
anymore.
deodorant? Okay,
Yes.
okay.
I work at a nice place now.
Okay, yes, we're going to talk about that in a second. So before we get to work life, your personal life that you already mentioned, do you want kids?
Yes. I want kids in February.
Right.
We're recording, this is coming out in December.
2024.
First baby is coming in February the 17th. Like I said earlier, I'm married. I have our first baby, mom's first grandkid.
I know, I'm going to be a grandma.
Little girl. Just super excited.
And they've been playing with some ideas of names, and I keep mixing them up or meshing them together, and so I keep calling her Harley, which is not on the table
We're
at
between
all.
Holly or Harper, or we're waiting until she's born, and then we're going to decide because we're thinking she might end up being neither of those.
I mean, she might be Gertrude Penelope. I mean, I don't know.
One of my favorite names is still Jane, so it might maybe
but
Jane.
That would be a good middle name too. Oh, that's so cute. I like them.
We'll see.
They both like a lot of classic names. I like things to be original and everything, and whatever. Name your kid whatever you want when it's your kid. But some are too off the rails and spellings and everything. So I really like the cute names they pick out, and they like a lot of classic stuff.
No, there's a lot of exciting parenting stuff. It's all just here's what I'll say about becoming a parent. I'm not a dad yet, but it is so life-changing and mind-boggling and so worth it. Like, I was going to tell you this earlier, but we had a couple baby showers, and so we are loaded with baby stuff.
Everywhere around here that you can't see is baby shower
is
stuff.
all baby stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really like folding or putting away the laundry because I get too excited, and it will keep me up at night just waiting. Because I don't want a unhealthy preemie. If she's here, I want her to be healthy and I want her to come here on time.
Yes.
But I just don't. I have to manage my distance right now because I will just get too over the moon excited. I just can't wait anymore.
Well, at the family baby shower that we had, they opened one gift and pulled out one little baby sleeper, and his wife Liz started crying.
And she can be in tune emotionally that way, and for her it's obviously she's doing the hard part. She's carrying
she's
baby
the
in her
mother.
body.
She's getting kicked in the ribs and everything else right now.
But for me, it's really I just want to make sure that I'm doing well at work, I'm doing well at home, and when this baby's here, it's gonna be everything that I've imagined, feelings so much in my mind.
In 24 hours.
I think of that moment. Oh, it went away. I think of the moment of her being here a lot, and I hope that you guys can get a picture of me being a crazy psycho crying, or not emotional at all, because I'm I need to get from point A to point B.
Right. Well, see, and that's the thing. You're going to be probably in that situation. He is very caring and overlooking, watchful over his wife. We went to the church trunk or treat, and they were dressed up for Halloween. The stuff she was wearing made her really overheated, and she hadn't eaten yet. And so she felt really lightheaded and dizzy and was getting hot. And I was really impressed that day because I saw you come to me with the look in your eyes. It's like, Liz needs help. We need to take care of this.
Well, and me and Liz, not to put our relationship business out there, but me and Liz want to over communicate with each other, get as much out as we can. And she told me I'm gonna pass out. I know she wasn't joking. So
no, she would never just joke.
I was if Liz says she's gonna pass out, give me a mattress. I'm throwing something.
Yeah, it was scary, and that's how he feels about his wife, which is normal and you should. But your daughter, you guys are gonna do the parent thing where you're like, "Are you breathing?" And then you're gonna do this, and then she's gonna wake up and you're like, "We shouldn't have done that."
I've had a feeling that I'm gonna become a psycho dad. Probably not with you, but with other people. I'm like, don't look at my baby. I don't need you here You're trying to micromanage my baby.
And it's not inappropriate for you to do that. Like, if you are like, okay, it's still RSV and flu season, and you don't want people, because people are like, oh, your baby's so cute, kisses, touch their face and everything. Well, that is dangerous. So if you're like, wash your hands and sit over there, and I'll think about if I let you hold her for a minute, or please don't kiss our baby. Like, I know that sounds like an overbearing thing to people who aren't in baby land with their own baby, but it's appropriate. Like, if that's what you feel like doing, do that.
I may be eating my words, but I was just thinking about this recently. If a stranger or someone who is not absolutely have my seal of approval goes in to kiss my baby, I will punch you in the face. I will.
You're gonna ninja chop them before they get there.
Go kiss your own baby. Kiss your hand and pretend. Because
I would be like, you're so cute.
That's probably maybe that's some sort of sweet gesture, but. Get your dirty cavity lips away from my freaking baby.
Well, you know, when you guys were little and not meeting your siblings, but meeting other people's babies, I would prep you before you would go in, because there's a lot of overstimulation that happens when you have little babies and bringing a baby home from the hospital, and people want to be nice and they want to chat and see you and everything. But this is what I would say. We're going to be quiet because it's a baby and they might need to sleep. And you can touch the little baby feet and toes.
You've always said that. You've always said you can touch not their face, not their...
Yeah, not their hands. Don't go like this so they grab your finger. No, you're a dirty little kid from outside. I mean, and that's what you are. So I said you can touch the little baby toes. They're wearing socks, you know, and doing things like that. So you feel like you got to touch them, but you're not overstepping and too many people around them.
Well, that was a good, because like as a kid, to me, I thought I was like there was a health reason, and there is.
There literally is.
There literally is, that you don't want gross kid fingers. But I always felt like when babies are so small and like gentle, and you just have to be very gentle. I don't know how I was around Cameron and Kelly when they were babies.
Okay, when you were around Kelly, it was fine.
I know,
and it was good, and you liked her a lot, and you did great. But whenever we brought Cameron home from the hospital, their dad and I, all the kids were asleep, including the baby, but we were like, you know what, let's run to the kitchen and grab a snack. It's probably 10 o'clock at night. And so we take the baby and we just put her, you know, she's like 3 days old, 4 days old, something like that. We put her on the couch and we go into the kitchen, not very far, and we go and get something. We looked at each other in there because we're like, do you hear that? It sounds like a cat. I don't think we have a cat around here, like outside or anything. And it kept kind of just this weird cat sound. So we go around the corner into the living room. Sleepwalker came in, went to the couch, laid on his sister. 3 days old.
3 days old is
no,
so
she was
scary.
Like a tiny infant. She was just, because we had just got home from the hospital, like we hadn't even been there that long, and he's laying on his sister on the couch.
And I've a long-term sleepwalker. I got better.
Yes.
We're out of it.
You don't sleepwalk.
The thing is that Liz and I are both sleep talkers, so we don't know. We have no idea and we didn't realize that until one time we were in a hotel room with Kelly and you, and Liz and I are just doing our own thing a lot of the time, so we're not usually sleeping in an open area with other people. I forget, as a kid I always had to give people a warning, but as a couple we have to give people a big warning. If we're getting into it, if we're like yelling at each other or scared of each other or just having two separate conversations, please ignore us.
And it's because they're asleep and they're not even like that
and zero
awake
memory.
in person.
We have no idea what we said afterwards. We could do that every night and we have no idea.
And Connor talks in his sleep, not like he's a mumbler and you're like, oh, he's talking in his sleep again. No, he's saying full sentences like he's looking at you having a conversation. So Kelly's the one who heard it. I was so tired, I guess I didn't wake up. But Connor's talking and he's saying all of this stuff. He's saying a whole sentence. And Liz says to him, and they're both asleep, she's like, Connor, you scared the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And Kelly wakes up and she's just laughing. She's like, you guys are asleep and you're talking to each other.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
And it is so... Liz and I, to this day, if one of us stays awake a little bit later and we'll say something, I'm like, hey, are you okay? And someone will be like, I don't know why you came in here, like, scared me, freaked me out. And then the next morning we'll be like, hey, remember you saying that? No memory.
No
but we
memory.
Do it to each other.
Oh my gosh. Well, so if you have babies and they are the same way, you're going to be like, this is what we get.
And Liz and I are deep sleepers, so, I mean, that'll be different when we have babies.
Yeah, wait till February. No, you won't.
We're deep sleepers now.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so next question, we're going to talk about work life.
Yes.
And this was Connor's suggestion because I had the general questions that I had asked the girls that I wanted to talk about. And of course, we knew we were going to go off on some tangents, but then I said, Connor, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so I work at the Woodhouse Spa. I should have worn my Woodhouse sweater. But I work as a I work in a group of predominantly women, like a beauty wellness industry, and mom works for a plumbing company.
Yep.
So very the opposite.
All men.
And we
all
have
time.
exactly the same but the opposite work life.
Yes.
Where we're sometimes the only person of the opposite gender the whole day. And so it's so funny because we're both like not really like you're not super masculine and I'm not super feminine, but when we're at work, mom's telling me about, she's like, yeah, there's a sinkhole out in the yard, you definitely have to like giving like very in-depth plumbing directions where I'm like, well, I mean, if you use this for your skin, it would really help with the inflammation. Like, and
Right.
I don't have a skincare routine. Mom's not a plumber, but
Guess what we know? We know a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff
Yeah.
on those two sides. What were you telling me the other day? Hyaluronic acid or something like that? And I was like, how do you know that?
I was just, well, and the thing is, it's your job to know that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
you just will naturally pick it up. But we have work husband, work wife.
Kind of. I have two work dads, and I've got a lot of work kids because honestly, they're not that much older than you.
Well, I have work siblings that I work with. And yours, we don't have to name names, but yours is an old man.
Yes.
And mine is, well, she's also an old woman, but like 30, like almost
Oh, okay,
30.
that's right. Our work wife and our work husband. And that sounds funny. When people say that, that can mean something different. This isn't what we're talking about. We're saying we spend more time with this person because you spend so much time at work a week, and then
Yeah.
you spend more time with that person. And I've been at my job for 9 years, and you've
Yeah.
been at yours.
I've been in mine for, it'll be 2 years soon, I think in
So
May or March.
these are real relationships you develop with people, and so it's funny because we talk to them more than your spouses, your kids, anybody else.
Well, and that, it's so funny because I'm going to tell, not specific details,
Okay.
but I think the super funny thing is that mom, when she goes to work, if you say anything about Lord of the Rings, anything
Oh my
about
gosh.
Tom Bombadil or about freaking who actually forged the rings in the first place, it's just like a 24-hour nerd discussion of like, here's
Oh.
why this is
In depth.
Lord of the Rings lore. Meanwhile, at my job, I say that our motto at work, they don't like that I say this, is that I'm scared. Because everything's like, I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. And it's like, okay, well, what you're going to do is your job that you've done every single day for your
And
whole
we're just
life.
going to do it, and we're just going to get through it.
And also, it's like, you know what's going to happen. Why are you
Oh
why are
my
you
gosh.
scared? But they're like, you don't get how I feel. You don't understand.
Okay,
And I'm
so
like,
that is the
okay.
difference because I can understand all women all the time, and then one Connor who did have sisters and a mom, like he's
Yes.
been around, women before, but that's like an overpowering thing, and I'm sure everyone feeds off each other in that way. So you're like, I'm scared, I'm sad, I didn't sleep well, I'm not having a good day, my boyfriend broke up with me. Okay, that's what he gets on his side. My side, I can't tell you how many people burp every
fart.
time they walk in the front door, and I'm like, I'm right here. Like, they don't care. They
It's
don't
just
care at all.
boys being boys.
It's
They're
just
like,
boys being boys. And then, they like to send me videos on the job because plumbing, okay? And they'll be like, look, this overflowed. And it's just this nasty video. Or, hey, we brought a snake out in the truck. You want to see it? I'm going to bring it in your office. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I deal with on my side and you on your side. But I feel like we're fitted for that.
No, I think actually very much you and I fill those roles well. Because
Yeah.
like you said, I grew up with predominantly sisters and you, I married, this is my female dog.
Girly dog.
Like I've always grown up around women, so that like I'm definitely well equipped for that. And you, I feel like you've been surrounded by a lot of men in your life, whether it's me or husband or father.
That's what I say, because when I get asked that question, people are like, well, how can you just work around men all day? And I'm like, listen, I have a father, I have a son, I've been married 2 times. I don't know if I told anybody that.
Yeah.
I've been
News.
married.
Breaking news.
I have a brother. I've got nephews who are adults and little nephews too, but it's just like, this all fits very well within what I'm used to. And I kind of put people in that category. There is one older person that works with us, but he's a couple of years younger than me. So we're like the aunt and uncle of the office. I feel like I'm the office mom a lot of times. And the other guys, they're just so young. Now, I'm saying young, close to your age. I can't believe you're so old. Because like 26, 27, there's one guy, he just turned 21.
That's so weird.
And so it's just weird to me. But don't get too serious, because don't come and ask me if I have a tissue and a Band-Aid, which I do, and a cough drop and can you tie my shoe? Because I find myself falling into that role because that's what I did for so long. I mean, my kids and everything. And sometimes I'll be really nice about it, and then sometimes I'll be like, you know where it is? It's over there.
You know, and
Go get it.
I have the opposite problem where random people come to me, they're like, hey, the toilet seat's kind of loose. I'm like, here's a screwdriver, like, fix it.
You do it.
Also, this is something I've never done once. I can do it, and I will go do it. But you just assume that, like, I just knew how. You said that your work dynamic is very much like you're the aunt of everybody. I have to show this.
Okay.
I don't know if the ring light's going to reflect it back, but this is my work thing.
What is it? Oh, yes.
This is a printed out picture that they got of all the judges from American Idol, because they say that that's us. So
that's your work crew. That's your roles. Check the recording just in case.
Oh yeah.
We good?
Yep, we're good.
Okay, yes, I can't believe this. I deleted so much stuff on my phone because I've messed it up before. So I love, and we talk about it, and we're on two completely opposite sides of the spectrum on that, but at the same time we relate because we're like, okay, I've got to go bring my best foot forward for this situation and for these people. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, because you told me the same way, that they become like your family. You
become really close to them, and you almost take over, whether you want to, the motherly or brother or father role.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, you just fulfill that because you also see their needs.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of something that, like, obviously you go to your 9 to 5 so you can make money and pay your bills, but whenever you find yourself in a company and group of people that you feel like you can become very comfortable with, you take on not a more personal role, but it's important to you. This is the first job that's ever been that way for me.
Right, because you've had a few other jobs, but you didn't stay there long enough to really bond with people.
Well, and they weren't a place of growth. Like, it was always this is the end of the road is you quit and you go somewhere else.
Right. Well, that's okay, because being 24, everybody who's watching this or think about, you know, where you were at that age and what you did. Like, my first job was the Walmart Portrait Studio. Yep. I was 18 years old. I was married. Yes, all of that. And I loved my job, but it wasn't like I was going to manage a string of portrait studios. And then I stayed home after that. So I didn't have another job until... I was a stay-at-home mom for 15 years while I was married. And so whenever I was divorced and entered the workforce, it was just something totally different for me. But that was an appropriate 18-year-old job. And it was a lot of fun, you know. And so it was appropriate for that age. So it wasn't a career-building place that I was going to stay. So that's not weird to hear you say that. Because I know even Liz, she said that before. She's like, oh, well, you know, I worked here and then I don't anymore. Well, you don't have to have your 25-year career
also,
at one place.
Again, not to put business out there, but the reason why Liz has ever not stayed at a job is because I mean this genuinely and sincerely, it's because she was overqualified.
Yes,
literally. Liz has always faced places where she's like, she's just too valuable. Like, and that's why she feels
and honestly,
the way that she feels.
She's a lot more mature for her age too. And back to your father-in-law, how did this become Jeff's whole episode?
Yeah.
But he raised such a good girl as a person, number one. He and his wife both, they raised a great daughter. But he raised the coolest, like, she seems older to me than she is, not because she looks older, she absolutely doesn't, but I'll be saying something about, you know, strawberry shortcake or the Care Bears, and she's like, yeah. And I'm like, how do you know that? You're so young. How do you have this information? So she's got, her dad raised her to listen to good older music, watch good older movies, and have all of this background and things that are so relatable to me that I can't believe I'm talking to someone that's my child's age.
Yeah, and Liz I've had not no taste, but just a very like limited taste in music, like my whole life. Liz has introduced me to so much good music, and she'll do that for our daughter too. Like, that's gonna be a...
Oh, I know the only music you were really exposed to was when Connor was pretty young. He got an alarm clock for his birthday. And it was a Superman alarm clock. And it was really cool because it had this bulb or little lamp on the top, and you pointed it up. So when you turn off the lights, it projected a digital clock on the ceiling. Well, it also had, for the alarm, because it was all Superman, the theme song from the 1980 or whatever movie. I don't remember when the movie came out.
Christopher Reeve's Superman.
And so it had the theme song. Great song. Not in the morning. Not when somebody doesn't wake up and it plays 57,000 times. Kelly literally said she has PTSD from that.
Literally, everyone in the house hates this alarm clock. Everyone thinks that it sucked because of the Superman theme song. But Nothing makes you want to get out of bed more than acting like you're Superman that just flew out of bed.
Yeah.
Like, it's a
You don't need a cup of coffee? Woo! Save the world.
It is in that room right there.
You have it?
Yes.
Okay, I was just trying to think mentally, like, where is it right now? Okay,
Liz has joined that club. She's unplugged it. She
she's
hates
like,
it.
I hate it. I'm not ready to get up. Well, he doesn't wake up. He is a deep sleeper. So you're not going to hear it once or the beginning. You're going to hear it 15 times.
Well, because it's an alarm clock, like if, let's say I go to work early that day, it's still going to go off, and I'm not going to be able to turn it off. And you're not even there.
And she's like, I hate this too. We should start white elephant gifting that to each other.
No, I'm never giving it up.
Okay,
I will die with that.
A
in my grave
replica
like
or
this.
something. Okay, you guys heard it here, okay? All right, so then we're going to move on to the last thing, because I didn't check the time, just that it was running. We're having a great time. We'll talk like this for 5 hours, but we don't want to not entertain whoever's watching. But we want to talk about some of the figures back here. Well, first, wait, explain this picture. You're not even in it.
Oh, okay. This is a picture of Grandma and Grandpa, the whole family, Brienne, Trisha, Mom, and Aaron.
And
it was just on my Google Photos, so I was like, we'll put an image up.
I know, I was like, where did you even get this photo? And for some reason, I don't know why, but why do I have the most triangle hair ever? Like, what was it? I went to, you know what? Give me a triangle.
You went triangle, circle, square.
Yes, and then hers is an asymmetrical.
Yeah.
So did you know that's the length of her hair? It's short here and
No
all the way
way.
came around to long. Yeah, because she was in beauty school and she needed a model for something and she gave her an asymmetrical haircut.
I wonder
actually
what's
pretty
going to
cool.
age funny whenever my daughter's looking and she's like, this is so dumb that you did this. And I'm
Literally everything. When you're a parent, everything you do is so dumb that you did that because they know everything and it's better. But then the tables will turn someday.
like, yeah.
Okay, so we don't have
So
to
this is actually, so I used to be a big Lego collector. I don't know if you can see this one, but I used to collect a lot of Legos. And then I kind of moved over to collecting action figures kind of in my, 20s adult life, just something that I enjoy doing. I got really into Transformers Beast Wars. Mom, I don't know if you know anything about Beast Wars.
You told me
but-
because I can see the arm is a T-Rex.
Yeah, so let me show you.
I'll take the matrix off of that.
But this is Beast Wars Megatron. I'm giving him a bunch of random stuff. That's not his.
Okay.
So this is Beast Wars is Transformers, but it takes place in the future and in the past. So the Transformers basically left their home planet after they won the war with Optimus Prime and Megatron. They went chasing, they're called the Maximals and the Predacons, and they went back in time to prehistoric Earth. And so there's no cars on Earth, so to have alternate modes, they scanned the life there. So Megatron is this cool guy, and he's got a T-Rex arm and a tail for an arm, but he transforms, but I have two of them, so I can display both. He turns into a T-Rex.
Wait, that's that figure?
Yeah.
He does that?
All of
So
them
he goes from
unfold
this
and
to
change,
this?
yeah, into
No
something different. So he turns
way.
into a T-Rex.
Or that's called Angry Barney.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
It's purple.
Angry Barney with high heels. One of his, it's not in this version, but in the original show, he basically is wearing high heels.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there's Megatron and Optimus Prime, so it was Megatron and Optimus Primal. And you know what? I'm going to do a live transformation, because this
Okay.
one turns into a gorilla.
Oh, I wondered. I was going to say I could see it's textured right there. And I
While
can
I'm
see
doing
it
this,
now.
do you want to say who we have another Transformers fan in the family.
Oh my goodness. So, and this is going to make me sound so old. I have a big range of nephews. So my oldest nephew just had a birthday and he turned 33. He is a father of 2 children and 1 on the way. So there's a bunch of baby boom in our family right now. And his son is named TJ and he lives and breathes Transformers. Lives and breathes it. And so Connor and TJ, like, basically Connor is TJ just grown up, like with facial hair.
Yeah.
I mean, they just love him small.
This is
How did it
Optimus
get so
Primal.
small?
So his legs and stuff like fold up backwards
Oh.
and they clip in together. But this is the Kingdom Optimus Primal. Just a little fun fact. This is probably maybe my favorite action figure of all time. Because this is really what got me into Transformers. This is what got me into collecting, and then the whole Beast Wars thing, like learning more about it. Because I love monkeys. Liz will stand by that. I
Okay.
love monkeys. I love Planet of the Apes. I love gorillas. And I thought this guy was so cool. He was on sale, and this is probably my favorite action figure ever.
Someday you're gonna go into the store and you're gonna be like, "Do you have?" And you're gonna get it, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, how old is your son?" And you'll be like, "Just nothing.
To
Just
this
I'm buying
day,
it."
to this very day, and also something that's, and this is actually what makes it an addiction, but something that's fun about action figure collecting is the chase of like, okay, can I find it in store? And if not, can I get it for a really good deal?
Oh, I figured something out. Remember when I asked you what you wanted for your birthday or Christmas, and you told me what action figure was that? It was King Kong, but what version was it?
This one.
Okay, so I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll just get on Amazon and find it. But they were ranging anywhere from like $19 to like $60, and I'm like, something's wrong. And so I went back to the exact link that you sent me and found the right one to get, because if not, there were cheap versions of this. And I was like, he's gonna be so mad.
Well,
Get the cheap one.
This is the SH Monster Arts Kong from Godzilla X Kong.
Yes, and it was very specific, and I was like, don't do that. Do not Dollar Tree him that toy.
Something happened recently that blew my mind. So these figures, this is a SH Monster Arts. This one looks like it's a Mafex figure. Mafex action figures, they do superheroes, and they're usually in the like 100, 120, 150 range. This company, CT Toys, made a knockoff of this figure.
This is the knockoff?
This is the knockoff, which I bought for $13. It is just as good as the official figure. There's some like
Take it
minor
from him.
things that
I
are
wouldn't
different.
know that.
It's a big thing that
Because don't you say where the joints bend and the things that they do is what makes it cheaper versus expensive?
it's usually the build, like also these figures are made like I think in Japan, but they're made overseas, so you're paying for an import price.
Oh, yeah.
But the knockoffs they made for like an insanely short amount.
Because the fun thing about this is like, look, his wrists move.
Well, his wrist
Right.
move, his elbows, his shoulders. If you look, a lot of action figures have what are called butterfly joints. So a butterfly joint is the ability to move your arms in and out like this. And most, let me use it.
You can tell you don't work out because that's also called a butterfly when you do
Oh.
that.
That's also, it's an action figure. Like this guy, his arms don't move forward at all.
Oh, okay.
Like he can't like cross his arms really.
Okay.
This guy can do this.
Oh.
So he can cross his arms completely and backwards too. This figure is so awesome. I love it so much, and his shoulders I just love messing with. You can literally just extend them or shorten them. Or bring it forward or bring it backwards.
Because you don't know what mood you're going to be in for the day and what mood he's going to be in, and so you're going to have to pick a pose.
You're making fun of me.
No,
but,
no, you're going to pick a pose. I mean, is he angry? Is he doing stuff?
I always thought that like statues and stuff were cool of like nerd stuff, but these you pay for you pay a price that's not going to be as like expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that can look just as good, and for a statue you can pay $1,000 for a really well painted statue.
Mm-hmm.
If you get, I lost a hand. I'll find it. If you get a well painted action figure, that's like 20 statues because it can do literally any pose. If you want Wolverine standing like this, that's fine. If you want him crunched over,
yes,
you can do that.
Is that him throwing up like you were in the bathroom that day?
Yeah.
And nobody cared?
If you want him doing a high kick while being on his tippy toes and doing a nutcracker, you can do that.
That's making me think of Hugh Jackman. Speaking of though, can you show one of my favorites that you have, which is Aquaman?
Let's see.
Is he up there?
Which Aquaman?
The one that looks exactly like Jason Momoa.
Oh yeah.
And I'm gonna check the time on here while you grab him. You gotta get a close up of him too. Yay, we're still recording.
I just got his trident.
Yes.
McFarlane Toys do better right now. There's
Why?
drama. There's McFarlane Toys drama.
Okay.
This is Aquaman from the movie Aquaman.
So cute.
And what I love about this guy is that 1, he just looks so cool. 2, he looks like Jason Momoa. But 3, his arm kind of looks like corn.
It does kind of look like a cob of corn. Doesn't he have the little split in his eyebrow too?
Let's see.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Oh, it's
see
not
in
like in
focus.
focus, but
Okay.
Yeah, he's got everything.
No, it's very detailed. I remember I saw him and I came over and I was like, he can sit by me. It's fine. I was like, he has a shirt on, but.
And he's like so tall.
He is. He's a really
Like
tall
for
figure. You're right.
Put him next to Wolverine, who is
Yeah.
that big.
Okay. Well, he's supposed to be majestic. And speaking of his
Trident.
Trident. I was gonna call it Triton. Yeah.
I have a lot of nerd stuff. if
You got that
wasn't
for which
obvious.
birthday? Were you 20?
20, no. This was 23.
Oh,
This was from my lovely
sorry.
wife, Liz.
Yes.
And she tried so hard to keep it a secret, but I figured it out.
You know what's so cute too? Because it's like from his lovely wife Liz. She wants him to have this stuff. She, in her own way, she also loves Legos,
Yep.
and she's a big fan of things like that. So,
Oh no!
where's all the things? And so she really wants him to have those things. She encourages the collection. This isn't one of those, oh, my husband and his weird toy stuff. She really encourages it. She likes to collect things. She likes really fun stuff. So she was excited to give
And
that to
also,
him.
message to all men who are married or in this hobby or just in general. The hobby's fun, but the important things in life are going to take priority. Okay, that's your rent, that's your wife, it's your
Yeah.
kids.
Don't
And
spend
it's
too
going to
much.
take priority.
It's like a gambling
This is a-
addiction. You could buy a really expensive figure.
Yeah, well, and you can, and I have. And if there are figure collectors watching, there may be one or two that you can see in here that you are probably clenching your teeth.
Tell us what's a really high end.
I'm not going to tell you how much, but
Yeah,
that
just tell me which one.
red Mechagodzilla,
Okay.
it was a model kit, so it came all in little pieces of plastic. That
Just
is an
forever?
expensive model kit.
Okay, so the other Mecha Godzilla though, the one in the middle,
Oh,
is that
that's
the one that
actually-
you've had
Yeah,
since you were a kid?
That's actually my oldest, except for
Okay.
Vinny.
Because I was gonna say I'm jumping in on that one. Oh yeah, your toy Vinny. I remember going to purchase this, and I'm dumb. I didn't understand that Mecha Godzilla was called that. I thought it was called Mega Godzilla because I was just a mom who didn't know that stuff back then. But it was when Toys R Us was still open,
Yep.
and it was around your birthday, I think, is when you got it. And I went, and they like had to go and look for it in the back and call a person to. And I was like, no. I gotta get this toy. My son wants this very specifically. But
I
then
remember
learned-
going and seeing it at Toys R Us, and I was like, I need this.
And you know what? I saw it. I just watched Ready Player One the other day again.
And he turned
And
into
whenever she
Mechagodzilla.
goes, "Oh no, Mecha Godzilla," and I was like,
I know who that is! No, this is my. This is okay. Maybe I lied. This one may be my favorite. This guy is like a really close number 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is like my favorite like figure I got as an adult.
yeah.
But this guy, this is okay.
See, I didn't throw him away.
I know I'm probably gonna wrap this up. I'm glad you didn't because this guy, I don't know if you knew this, was my imaginary friend when I was a kid. So I thought that he.
I didn't know you had one.
I thought that he lived in the where United was, their loading area. 'Cause
Oh
he was
my
so
gosh.
big. And I thought that he like lived underground, so it would like open up and he would come out. Because he's giant.
Okay, so this is what. Okay, I have creative children. I have very smart children. Everybody, all of my kids were in the GT program. I was in the GT program, so I think that's very interesting. It's because of imagination and because of things like this. Connor could ride 24 hours from Texas to Idaho with that in his lap. That's all. Bathroom break, food. That guy, he could play with forever in the car. Like
And
he was
he
so
is-
easily entertained.
He has held up the test of time. This because he's just made of like.
Well, he's not
hollow
even
plastic.
scruffy or anything. Like it doesn't look like you dropped him 100 times or
He's
anything.
got some scratches and scrapes, but
He doesn't. It doesn't look like
the
it.
only thing that's changed, and it's because he's pretty much just hollow plastic. When kept in storage and it's hot, you just kind of bent into a ball.
Oh, okay.
So he leans a little to the right,
So
but
he's got bad posture and needs a chiropractor?
yeah.
Okay.
But also, if I just use warm water, I can reshape it. That's
You really
the
can?
thing about plastic.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know all that. I see when you're buying things like that for your little 8-year-old, you don't think that they're going to be an adult and really have and cherish that. But I'm really glad I did. It was a big effort, something he really wanted. Do that stuff for your children. Don't throw away their chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Pretty
gosh.
much.
Okay, but what you said about having an imaginary friend, so you would be in your room outside your window looking over there like, there he is. He's down there.
Well, that's why I would go to the alley. I would be like, because I had friends and stuff, but I would go and I was like, you know what? I gotta go see how he's doing. And so I would go there and just like imagine that he would just come out of the ground. And,
Okay, part of that is being a creative person. Second, did you know, I thought we've told this story before, that I had an imaginary friend.
yes.
I'm the only one of my siblings that had that. I was going to preschool, so I was between 3 and 4, and my imaginary friend was the White Rabbit. The White Rabbit, like from Alice in
From Alice in
Wonderland.
Wonderland.
And so the funny thing is, okay, kids do that, they have that, and now that I think about it as an adult, like that sounds crazy. But kids are just really creative in their minds. So I had that imaginary friend. I would go to preschool and we're sitting at the little lunch table and I'd be like, don't sit there.
White rabbit sitting there.
My white rabbit's sitting there. So by the end of the school year, everyone was talking to my white rabbit. They understood. Oh, can White Rabbit go down the slide with me? Okay, he can go with you. Like I was a
He
little
doesn't. He doesn't like you.
Yeah.
No.
You know what? He's kind of tired, so he's gonna stay with me. But that's interesting because I didn't know you had one too.
Yep. And that was just like. He was, and we didn't even like. I didn't imagine that we like went and like fought aliens. He just would like come up and be like, "How are things?" I don't think he could talk. I think he just was like.
It's like what's the thing in Star Wars when Jabba the Hutt makes people go down under there? The
Rancor.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what he was. He just kind of lived in there and existed.
Yep.
And he just had his little cave.
And he was just like, "Bah." And I'm like, dude, it's good to see you.
Right. I hope you're having a good day. Okay, well, we are going to get to the wrapping up part of it because, like I said, we'll talk about every item in here forever. So what we're going to talk about, though, I'm going to give Connor a minute to give a shout out to his podcast because these guys have been friends for so many years. They used to be in the basement of my house. We played Dungeons and Dragons, and what else?
We played Minecraft. We played Betrayal of the House on the Hill. It was just a scary.
And then they would watch scary movies. And so these guys are the crew that came to my house for so many years. They're now adults. They've always had a YouTube channel for a long time, but now they've got a podcast. They just did their first episode.
The Cheezers. Check out the Cheezecast, which I think we're gonna have it on multiple platforms, but definitely on YouTube.
And I'll include the link to it.
Yeah, I'll attach that. But weird. It's me and Carson and Zach. We've been friends since we were young, like third grade, fourth grade.
They were so little.
We've been friends for a long time, and we're doing a podcast right now. It's super fun. So.
I'm excited. Of course, okay, so this is the thing I get made fun of for a lot. Who's even going to watch your podcast? So guess what? Same thing with them. As long as you guys have 3 moms, we're all watching the podcast.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
They're going to get at least 3 views. Well, we'll watch it twice. 6 views.
And we're gonna give a reverse shout out too, because I'm actually a fan of the podcast.
Okay,
this podcast.
you know what? That's so funny because I did a couple of episodes and Connor came back and he's like, "Hey, I've got some tips," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm open-minded to that." And we talked about it, the framing, pulling it in so you could see the disco ball and different stuff like that. And I really appreciated that he really listened. He gave really good constructive criticism, and that he's listened to it all because this is your mom. There's a different side of me. This is a different piece of my life, and I'm not just telling you to go to bed and brush your teeth.
Well, yeah, and I think it's also interesting because like I listen to you talk about everything for forever, but I think the way that you structure things and kind of how it's focused on A, B, and C, it's entertaining.
I think my brain works like that, and whenever I'm trying to, I always say this a lot, consume content, I want to point to it. I want a storyline, and I want those things. If not, I've watched podcasts where people ramble for 2 hours and it's incoherent bunch of giggles, which I know you said you're going to have a less structured podcast.
Yeah.
For me, it's a little harder to follow.
But it's definitely more so like, I think that this format suits you really well. And you
my
always
personality.
have a lot to say.
Yeah, it's my personality. I remember putting out the podcast and someone was like, "How can you talk that long?" Because I don't always have a guest. Do you know me? Do you know
also,
me in real life?
Kids, like they talk.
Yes.
We all are just chatting to each other all the time.
And you know what? I got a lot of compliments on the girls' episodes, and so I'm really looking forward to putting this one out because people are getting to know me, that don't know you guys are like, "Oh, I get it," because you relate to your parents in a certain way, and they can see how we're all like that. Because whenever I had kids, and everybody has a different personality-ish, but the thing is, I'm a big talker. Very imaginative. I like to talk to people and be noisy and all of that. And then I had 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
All of them.
That's exactly what happened.
Me yelling at my kids to shut up was so funny to my mom. She's like, "This is what you get, right? For being a big chatty know-it-all, this is what you get." So I am so happy we got to make this happen. Connor lives in Lubbock. He doesn't get to my house a lot. And so we decided to just bring the disco ball with us and chat, and I cannot wait for Liz so that we can do hers.
Liz will be fun, and I will return for another episode. We're planning some more ideas.
Yeah, I'm excited, and then hopefully one day, if the Cheezers can stand me, I want to be on there. I want to be on there. Yes, on the Cheezecast. I'm so excited. I'll bring snacks or whatever I got to do, and maybe Zach can call me Mrs. Williams. That was 2 last names ago. Come on.
We talk about it in that first episode, but
oh, you do?
or not that specifically.
Okay.
More like The next episode we should talk about sports, and Carson said we should just have our dads come and Zach pretend that that's us.
Oh, okay, yeah,
He's
exactly.
like, oh, Carson and Connor, what do you guys think? And it's just two old men.
Yeah, because I was gonna say you guys are gonna talk about
sports.
That's hilarious. That's like me talking about sports. Literally the same
Yeah.
thing. Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us. This was the best, even if the only two people who watched it are the two people sitting right here, and Liz, because I know she will.
Maggie,
Yeah,
come
Maggie,
here. Say
come on.
goodbye.
Gotta go to the outro. Thanks so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this. I love every one of my kids and getting to give them their own spotlight. And I love them all collectively. And as you can imagine, it is so loud.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Thanks for coming, Maggie, and being so quiet. And we'll see you next time on the Disco Ball Discourse.
Peace
Bye.
out.